Yeah, be on.
Ladies and gentlemen, from across the pond, Jack from DSNY is here. Now, we're in a different location. This is my home.
Yeah.
I'm going to take no responsibility.
No, it's all my fault. If I'm being honest, look, it was my mess up. I don't do a lot of stuff in front of green screen, so I didn't expect to be wearing a green screen shirt and just be a floating head. So instead, you know, we're doing it here from John's nice looking kitchen here, so there we go.
I saw him and I didn't even think to. I was so excited to say hi. I did not think that that he had a green
something
shirt.
a little different, you know. Than
and
usual.
I don't have his size shirts, if you might imagine.
Right. Okay. So
wait. You're from the UK.
I'm definitely from the UK. I think I am.
Maybe soon not. Maybe you'll move here one day.
Maybe one day soon I'll be moving out to Orlando.
I did give him the hug already. This table makes it so that I can't do it here. It's awkward.
We'll do a handshake instead. Good
cheers.
handshake. Yeah,
Cheers.
there we go. Cheers.
I've learned cheers is thank you. I'm going to get out the compliments.
Okay,
they're going to make you feel.
I'm not good at compliments.
They're going to make you feel weird. I've watched him when he was a nothing channel grow so fast and so amazing. You honestly have accomplished a lot, and it's pretty amazing. DSNY Newscast has become huge.
Cheers.
How awesome is it? And tell me how you started it and what when you first started, did you think it would be that huge?
Well, I mean, the initial idea came from I've said it so many times. I've been a massive Disney fan, you know, ever since I was a young kid. But I always loved the Imagineering side of it. And I always found it more intriguing about how something was made rather than just enjoying it. And I know that's not what Disney wants.
You're analytical.
I'm very behind the scenes. I feel that if you understand magic, it's like understanding a magician's act. If you know, so a lot of people don't want it to be spoiled, and that's fine. Don't watch DSNY Newscast. But if you want to have that kind of dose of just every single day construction, that kind of thing, what's happening, rumours, leaks here, there, not major links, they're all positive. I never leak anything which is going to be negative to Disney because I care too much about Disney to do that sort of stuff. Plus, personally, I don't see Disney as really doing much to be annoyed about. When I see a lot of people get annoyed on the internet about stuff that Disney do, I feel like, come on guys, it's a company. They have to do certain things.
They're still there to make money.
They're there to make money, and if they weren't there to make money, if it was a philanthropic adventure, then we wouldn't have Disney.
And we would judge it right. We would judge it differently.
So it's a different kind of thing. Walt knew that. Everyone says Walt, wanted to make it affordable for everybody. I agree, but also Walt wasn't also the shrewdest of businessmen. It was his brother Roy who was the shrewdest businessman. And he always made him...
that term affordable for everyone.
Yeah.
The homeless person on the street isn't affordable.
Yeah.
But that is why we have different levels of hotels. We have value resorts.
I'm saying a value resort. I'm saying Pop Century this day.
It's nice.
And it's a very nice resort. I mean, I considered All Stars as well. Every time in past when I've stayed in Orlando, we've only stayed at a Good Neighbor Hotel in Disney Springs or the old Marketplace, or around that kind of area. So... for me, Disney, I don't have to often stay at a Disney hotel even. So I don't have any issue with that kind of thing. It's everyone, once you walk into a Disney park, you're treated the same whether you stay at an expensive hotel or a non-expensive hotel. Disney treat you the same. That's what's important. The staff, the cast members.
I agree.
That's what's really matters.
So when did you say, I'm going to take all this analytical stuff and put it into this channel?
Right, so, I mean, we can start right back at the beginning of the story, or we can do a bit of that. Right, so, right at the very beginning, I watch Apple Watch on the table there.
That's what I do all the time.
Yeah. So, essentially, straight out of uni, I did advertising and business.
Union, I learned, is university in UK.
Yeah, university. We call it uni. It's short. So, not universal. Anyway, so in terms of coming straight out of university, I did advertising and business at university. And it's an awful lot of branding, and I loved branding and, graphic design, branding, building a marketing campaign.
You can see that in DSNY with the pink and the blue.
It's all about, and a lot of people don't give any thought to that kind of thing when they start up a channel or anything like that. And it matters so much because it's Disney. It's identifying something. So I cared an awful lot about that sort of stuff. So then I did a social media app. The app was called Beehive, and the notion was that you would take all of your contacts. This is back in 2014, okay? So you take all of your contacts on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and boil it down to just the 10 people that you really care about on each network. Because we've all got like 500, 600 friends.
Did you make it?
I made it, yeah, I made it. And it did okay. It 2,000 downloads. Didn't ever took off. Mainly because Facebook changed up their SDK. I know this is very app. This is probably not interesting for Disney fans. We'll skip past this as quickly as possible. But it's important to understand the genesis of why DSNY Newscast came to be. And so I did all that, and it didn't really work. So end of 2014, I went back into advertising. And at the same time, in my evenings, I started working on a Disney News app, because I really was annoyed with the situation that I've been following Disney news sites for so long, and it was just a mess. And
still is.
It's not about the news sites in general. It's the way you get the news. It's a cluttered approach. It's not about going to desktop sites. The content's good, but a lot of, how many people nowadays go to a browser, open up 6 different tabs and do that 2, 3, 4 times a day to stay up to date? It's difficult to do. So I launched this app, which was DSNY Digest, and it was curated by me, and got it into the App Store, and it did okay. It had probably 8,000 downloads, but probably around 1,000 active users. And so it continued on, but the app wasn't really meant as, it wasn't profitable. Because it was free in the App Store, and it was free on purpose, because I was trying to teach Disney in a way to how to do a better communications plan. Now it comes back to the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram idea, and I see these social networks as having an awful lot of control over Disney's brand message. If Facebook decide to change their algorithm and say you see more friends posts in the feed instead of news posts or page posts, then Disney are pretty screwed in terms of exposure. So they're very reliant upon these different social media platforms.
Yep.
And if I was Disney, if I was working at Disney, I would have so many restless nights about that idea, sleepless nights about it. And I said, well, I'll see if I can get in with Disney. I've got a good idea here. So I put together a 48-page presentation.
48 pages.
And it's on there. And it was for this concept which I had called the Disney Universe. Okay? And the Disney Universe would have been a social platform built by Disney, operated by Disney, and they own the most popular pop culture brands in the world. So they own Star Wars, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Muppets, Marvel, so many. And people care about these brands so much that in marketing there's something called a brand ambassador. Okay, there's a marketing raven, and these are all marketing turned buzz terms. And essentially, when we wear Disney shirts, when we buy merchandise, when we spread the gospel of Disney, that's essentially what's happening. And so how can we do that but online? Now, Disney don't have a way to do that online. My Disney experience is just the experience at Disney. Most people go for a 1-week vacation, 2-week vacation each year. The rest of the 50 weeks of the year, they're left in the dark. They don't have that day-to-day contact with the Disney brand the same way. So this idea which I sent them, I said, look, my app is a good way of showing them. So it was like, the problem is you've got 50 million people on Facebook, on your Disney page, you're getting like 16 likes per post. And then the other problem is you're not reaching these people. So, solution, my app, news. Do the news to these people because they want the news, okay? And so I did that, and then I said build a social platform around it, because if you can, if
now you didn't consider YouTube's comments a social platform.
Well, it's before DSNY Newscast.
Oh, okay.
So this was all based upon the DSNY Digest app. I might send you some footage, you can maybe put it in there, which is about to relaunch. Then after I sent this presentation to Disney, it was an unsolicited presentation, but it was very detailed. I had a letter back from them saying thanks, but no thanks. I understand from their standpoint they can't accept unsolicited presentations, but I would.
How do they know who to solicit from?
But
I don't get it.
My problem is, if they would have hired me, it wouldn't have been unsolicited anymore. It's their idea. They've got the person who created the idea. I'd sign any sort of NDA agreement, and I would quite happily work within the graphic design or product design aspect of the Disney tech department, and DSNY Newscast would have never been. That would never have happened, because I'd have moved out to Burbank or Anaheim, and I would have just ended up doing that, Glendale. So, after receiving that letter, I was like, well, I've wasted a good part of my time here doing this thing, and haven't got anything for it. So I said, well, is there a way that I can show Disney that people want this content, and they want news content just as much as I've said? And so I decided, is there a better way to do it? And that's where me and my brother were talking about this. He said, well, an app's a great idea. He used to use the app, and he said, I love the app, but it's not getting the traction that you thought it would. Have you considered doing it to camera? And not just to camera. I'm fairly good at editing, this family holidays and stuff like that, and I'm good at graphic design. And the presentation thing to camera was a bit difficult to begin with. Some very rough early days of that, But my other brother works at a TV station.
So your brother came up with the YouTube idea first.
Yeah, so he gets complete credit. I give him credit for it, because he said to me, I'm so lazy, he said. He lives such a busy lifestyle. He said, I'm so lazy at the end of the day. I don't have enough time to look into all the Disney news. I would just love to be sat on my couch on my Apple TV and play a video or watch a YouTube video. And that's what he wanted. So I kind of, if you see a gap in the market, you fill it. But it's not just about finding a gap in the market, because there's lots of gaps in the market, but the product, on a matrix, it's like there's gaps in markets where, I'm trying to think of an example on the spot, like, I don't know, a pineapple-shaped cup, or, something stupid, and it's not going to sell.
Right.
Necessarily. So, there's lots of gaps in markets, but you've got to make sure that what you do is going to be well presented. You've only got one chance to make a first impression, and you've got to care about that product as much as people watching it. And each video I create takes around 8 to 9 hours to put together, sometimes longer, to be honest.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are aware of how what goes into even a 10-15 minute video.
Yeah, well, it's a 7-minute video. It's usually, and pretty much after the intros of each video, after the first minute or so, every minute after that is pretty much an hour's worth of editing, or an hour and a half's worth of editing. So if I cover an extra news story, which is another 45 50 seconds, it can be up to an extra hour's worth of editing, which is why sometimes those videos go up late. So sorry about that, but it's just the way it ends up being. But so the channel I started in April of last year, and it took me around a month beforehand. I created all the graphics, created that thing there, and I was like, well, pink and blue, because it was the same colour formation as the old app, and the pink and blue makes sense because whoever you are, you like Disney. Disney's for everybody.
Prince and princess.
Prince and princess. I know pink and blue are very stereotypical gender colours, but then again, if you have both colours, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You covered everybody. I'm not. I don't care who watches it from the standpoint of who you are, as long as you love Disney. That's all that matters, and you get something out of the videos. So from that standpoint, that's the reason why the branding was very clear. It's always been pink and blue, and I just went forward with it. And the show initially was always conceived to be 7 minutes. But
why 7? Was that something you just came up with?
Well, my idea was I watch a lot of YouTube content, and personally, if the video goes too long, unless it's an interview or podcast or something like that, where you can listen to it in the background. Yeah, I listen to lots of long form podcasts, like 40 minutes videos, or I watch the Joe Rogan podcast, and that's a video podcast as well, and stuff like that. And it's an interview, and so you have it on in the background, much like some people will be watching this right now, and it will be in a background tab, just listening to us. But if you're asking people to look at the screen, you better well make sure you give them something to look at. and and people have a short attention span nowadays. Their attention span is shorter than ever because of the iPhone culture, and we want quick snippets throughout the day continuously.
Remember, if you remember, and you're too.
I wasn't going to click in there.
For this.
There we go. That better click in there.
Too young for this. Is old movies. They used to build it up. You didn't see the monster until the end of the movie. They can't do that nowadays.
No, and you see it all in the trailer. And we've got short attention spans. So the videos were like, I can do a 15-minute video and ramble. I can sit there and just give my opinion continuously to the camera. But personally, I don't feel like a lot of people want my opinion too much in the videos. I feel like it's more important that...
I think they like your opinion.
Yeah, so I write a script. I then deliver that to camera.
Do you ad-lib some of it? I mean,
I do ad-lib some of it. But
it doesn't seem like a script. It's just
so
weird.
So the way it is, like even the bits to camera are scripted. There's words that I've written, like sentences I've written, and I will read that. Okay, kind of got it. Acting, because I've done acting in the past, so I'm fairly good at memorising lines and stuff. So I'll memorise that line, and then I'll do it to camera. But it's not first take. It's like sometimes it's like 8 different takes. It's the 8th take that's the best one, and you play around with it and you make it seem not like a line that has.
It's fresh.
Yeah, and that way, people watching, you get a succinct, great line to camera, and you don't get the ramble, and it saves me time because I've got another 6 hours of editing until I get this video out. So I'm trying to streamline the process, and sometimes they have to be very quick turnarounds for these videos, so it makes it easier. Anyway, so once I've written the script, I record the thing, which will take around a half an hour session. In the middle of summer, we don't have a lot of air conditioning in our country. We don't have any air conditioning really, so I sit there and I sweat a lot.
Air conditioning is not a big deal?
No, we don't have air conditioning in the UK. We have it in cars.
You make the videos. When do you see it's really getting popular? Second newscast, third, fifth?
I started off from a better benefit of having the app. So I had 200 people subscribe from the app.
To transition those people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said in an article in the app, I said, look, I'm launching a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I did about 2 days before the show launched. 200 people subscribed. I've got people out there that say they were with me from the days of the app.
That's awesome.
So that's very cool.
Because people go crazy for that first 100 subscribers.
Yeah.
So you had that.
I had 214, I think.
Okay.
Subscribers when I released my first video.
Did you have a goal for what it should be? I want to know if you're as surprised with the success of the video.
So the subscribers took a while to get there. It doesn't sound like it took a long time, but to me, I said the way I'm going to gauge this is gauging the traction of the channel. Is if I can start to pick up steam and within a month I've got 1,000, then I'm on something here.
And did you after a month?
I did, yeah. Within 1 month I had 1,000 subscribers.
That's great.
But within the first month I also had a video that hit 29,000 views.
That's crazy.
So I remember the videos, like there were just a couple of videos that like hit like 2,000-3,000, and I was like, this is something here. 200 subs, but 3,000 views. I'm not converting them yet. I'm not converting them. And then I had like a Pandora one, which hit I think 9,000 views or 10. And then I had like Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout video that hit 29,000 views. I was like, something's working here. My plan, which I was trying to demonstrate to Disney, people want this stuff. People don't always want to work for because essentially news is advertising.
It's also the package that you put into.
But if you're reading news for politics, if it's good news or bad news, it's an advert for the political candidate. If it's news for business, if you're wanting to find out news about Apple, then essentially you're buying their marketing. And I wish Disney have never reached out to me. And I would love to have better correspondence with Disney. I've never spoken to them. I've spoken to Disney UK before for PR stuff, but because I live in the UK, I've got to go through the Disney branch in the UK because it's just the corporate structure. But essentially, I would like to have better dealings with Disney because I don't want to step on their toes. If I'm being honest, there's no. I purposely stay away from more controversial topics on purpose And because
I'm sure they got their own.
Because if there's controversial topics out there, there's going to be sites that cover it anyway, And if you really want the nitty gritty stuff, then go find it. You'll find it on Reddit. You'll find it everywhere. If it's a big thing, you'll find it. But I know my audience. I know I've got families watching, and I'm very conscious of that. And I don't, we're adults. Adults swear. It's a lot of YouTubers, Logan Paul, people like that. They don't really care as much about their audience and they don't have a sense of responsibility for who they watch their videos.
Who's that? I don't know.
Logan Paul, he's the YouTuber who got into a lot of trouble last year about the Japan thing. We won't talk about it.
Okay.
But essentially, too many essentiallys here. But the whole thing is, you got to know your audience, you got to have a sense of
Our
responsibility.
YouTube channel's going, successful, love it. I still think it's amazing that you don't even live locally, and he's doing what he's doing.
Well, it's the internet, isn't it? So
it's pretty amazing. Yeah. I feel like you live down the block anyway. So you did a website now, which I'm slightly a part of. You put me there, thank you. What's going on with the website, and what is the website? We'll put the
Yeah, sure. So it's DSNY Newscast.com. So a really original. I took ages. That was a long thinking session of mine to get to that point.
You had a panel?
Yeah. I had to ask everybody. I did a little survey. But no, the website website launched in June. It's very color coded. So you got blue for Walt Disney or pink for Disneyland. You got different colors for obviously Star Wars, Marvel, all that sort of stuff. The idea behind it is when you go to a lot of websites, it's a blank white sheet basically, and it's very difficult to. A lot of these websites are cluttered; they're all over the place. It's.
This should be more intuitive.
Yeah, I kept it very simple. I was like, right, you're going to have my videos up at the top, so if you're just a fan of the videos, you can get to those quicker. You're going to have a link to the store if you want to get a shirt, because on YouTube it wasn't easy to get a shirt, as easier. A lot of people wrote in the comments, can I buy one? And then you've also got the fact that the news is what people come for. So have it front and centre. Don't try and have columns. This is different categories, all that sort of stuff. Just have the news nicely laid out, the 12 articles, click for more articles, 12 articles, click for more, and go through it that way.
Love it.
And have the cards colour-coded, so therefore people can grab the content they need as quickly as possible. Try and time-saving notion behind it. Disney Parks Blog's website, the content on it is really good. I love the writers there. The authors, they do some great stuff. I love reading it. Just reading an article of theirs, it's fun. But if I'm from a graphic design aspect, it's terribly laid out. You go to that website, unless you've got the RSS feed, it's very difficult.
When is this coming out?
So, it's in testing at the moment. I've been working on the app even whilst I've been away, doing the icons for it and all the other stuff. It should be out September. Now,
is there going to be a copy of the website, or is there going to be something else in the app?
No, you're going to have extra components. So you're going to have a countdown widget. So you'll be able to, within the notification center on the iPhone, you'll be able to count down your days to your next Disney cruise line, even the Asian parks, all of the parks around the world. And you can share that to Facebook and Twitter to hype it up. And then as another part of the app, you're going to have all of the color-coded articles, really easy to see. You're not going to be able to pick the categories for different articles, but you will be able to easily see what's there. And then the other aspect of it is, which is a big deal, from what I feel will be a game changer in terms of the Disney news community, is that this app is going to have push notifications. Now, push notifications isn't anything new. I know I'm not a visionary, groundbreaking person for doing
that. When news comes out,
if there's breaking news, like yesterday...
I want breaking Disney news. I only get it from CNN.
Yeah. Disney Parks blog posts something big, like, I don't know, back in June, the Inside Out ride, concept art. I rushed to try and get a video out as quickly as possible. And it took me 4 hours to get out. But if I could post a thing saying, here, have a look at the concept art.
Video later.
Yeah, video later, but get my thoughts on it later in a bit more of a breakdown analysis. But here's the concept art, enjoy. It's so powerful because, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, but like I said before, right at the very beginning, Disney don't have control over who sees their content.
You enjoyed Slinky Dog, I heard.
I didn't. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, I drove that late at night, and it was very enjoyable with the fireworks going on.
That's cool. How much did you go crazy to try to look at Galaxy's Edge while you were on?
It was dark. It was, I could barely see into it.
Okay, if you do it in the day, you see
I know.
But
I'm not waiting in a 2-hour queue for it.
But you gotta get a fast pass.
I couldn't get a fast pass.
All right, I'll figure a way. We'll get on that. What has surprised you? Was there anything that really surprised you that you liked more than you thought you were going to?
Yeah, I like the Nave River Journey ride more than Flight of Passage.
I actually did too.
And it's just because Flight of Passage, to me, I rode it with Rob Plays and his girlfriend Kat, and she described it as Star Tours mixed with Soarin'. And
Pretty
it's
much.
a bit like it, yeah. And
what do you know that you can tell us about Battle Escape that we may not know?
I'm trying to think about everything I said in the videos.
We know it's okay.
Yeah.
They may not have. Some of them may not have seen this. It's a dark ride, basically.
So
trackless.
Yeah, the queue is so interesting. This queue, it's number one, you're gonna have to find the entrance in a way.
Stop it.
There'll be, and within the queue, you're going to go through the forest of X-wings, and the queue is going to transition from inside to outside, and then back inside again. So you're going to be feeling like you're going through the different environments and stuff like that, like you're adventuring into the ride. And then we've already learned this from the troop transport vehicle that they've now got at Walt Disney Presents, which I reported on before they officially announced that this was the case. Because I just looked at the model an awful lot and I was like, this makes a lot of sense, this ride does. Anyway, and so essentially what you're going to do is you're going to do the first part of the queue, and then to get you up to the place where the ride takes place, because it takes place on, I don't know, a Star Destroyer, or it's undecided yet where it exactly takes place, but to get you up to a Star Destroyer, they need an inventive way to get you up there. They need a story to get you up there. So the troop transport thing, you will board the troop transport, and it's like a mini ride in a way to get you up to the location. It'll be essentially like an elevator, but it'll be a themed experience to get you up there.
Awesome.
And then you're on the station, and then the queue changes. You're then queuing amongst the Imperial, not the Imperial stuff, the First Order.
Right.
And it'll be a complete different experience altogether. So it's a break in the queue, a bit like Flight of Passage, but the Flight of Passage break is a lot later in the thing, and then you're basically on the ride. This is a nice little thing in between, and I compare it to the Haunted Mansion stretching room.
Okay, yeah.
You know how you queue, you go in the stretching room, then you queue again to get on to board. It's going to be that kind of thing. And initially, when they announced Star Wars Land or Star Wars Galaxy's Edge now, 2016, a lot of reports, it was obviously announced in 2015, but 2016, a lot of reports started coming out about you're going to disembark your vehicle halfway through the ride. And I think what the confusion was is people heard that you disembark, and they've confused that with the queue transitioning point, and that's the cool part where you board, you disembark to board again, and you're actually going to disembark because it would be a nightmare logistics-wise.
Is it you think it's going to be some sort of a vehicle the first part, or like an elevator type thing?
It's hard to say at the moment exactly how they're working on it, because I don't have that many links.
And we did hear some live actors among the animatronics.
I don't believe they're going to have live actors now. It's a mix of projections with a lot of animatronics. Don't forget, a lot of the animatronics will just be stormtroopers.
Right.
They're easier to do because
Kylo Ren is easy.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's nice and easy. There might be some animatronics in the queue for the Millennium Falcon at least, because characters will you see some character moments. Don't crash my ship, that kind of moment, I don't know if you're going to use Han Solo Harrison Ford or young Han Solo or Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know what they're going to go with that.
Did you see the Solo movie?
Did, yeah.
I loved it. What do you think?
It was a great movie, but the marketing let it down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack from DSNY.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Seeing your house, and sorry about the green screen thing again. And but it's been nice actually getting slightly out of a Disney bubble and seeing a bit of Orlando. So yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.